You've probably seen those ads on Instagram and Twitter offering you to unlock the full potential of AI or saying that you're using ChatGPT wrong. Then they try to sell you a Notion board filled with thousands of prompts, which, let's be honest, even if you do buy them, you're never going to use any of them. The truth is that prompting AI is about expressing yourself clearly and not much else. You cannot learn better prompting by scrolling through an endless list of pre-written prompts and searching for the one that fits your current task right now. So what should you do instead? You simply have to learn the basic frameworks, understand what the AI model that you're working with can do, and then tell it what you want, and then iterate through trial and error. In this video, we'll go beyond the basic prompting, and we'll also learn some tricks along the way. So, ready? Let's dive in. So there are many methods that can be called advanced prompting. To be fair, it's a really loose term, but for the sake of this tutorial, let's just focus on two of them. The first one is that you can build something I call prompt frameworks. These are just multiple pre-written prompts that you can string together one after another to automate repetitive tasks. And the second one is that you can define constant, meaning that you can define an element and give it some context and refer back to it throughout your prompt framework. This is easier to understand once you see it in action. And these approaches aren't just limited to ChatGPT, but are also usable with other large language models that have conversational memory. Now that we know our goal is to move beyond basic prompting, let's get into the details of the task we'll be using as an example in this video. So let's say you're a business or marketing consultant and you're a huge fan of Alex Hormozi and his book, $100 million offers. And you're helping people generate their own $100 million offers using what Hormozi taught in his book. Now, if you were a real smart grifter, you wouldn't be doing this repetitive task yourself manually, spending your hard-earned calories on thinking. That's peasant work. And after all, now there's AI. So you plan to have this AI do all the work for you. But how do you go about this? Building your own robot version of Alex Hormozi to generate the $100 million offers for you. I mean, yes, of course you can pre-train your own model using vector embeddings and all that. But if you knew how to do all that, you wouldn't be trying to undercut Alex Hormozi by grifting out his own $100 million offers as a consulting business to begin with, right? So let's look at a simpler way to do this by using ChatGPT and building out a prompt framework to automate your work. So now that we're in ChatGPT, let's start with our first prompt. Start by writing out our goal and tell ChatGPT what we're up to. Let's write, we'll be having a brainstorming session for my business. Okay, first let's define some variables. Great. Then we're gonna open curly brackets and type name is the name of the business. The only reason I'm putting these inside curly brackets is to kind of differentiate or separate them from the other text. There is nothing different or special about curly brackets in this case. They could be even in angle brackets or they could be inside square brackets. It doesn't matter as long as it differentiates this constant that we're defining from all other text. Moving on. Now we're gonna tell the AI that now let's give these constants our values. Constants, yes. This is something that Alex Hormozi described in his book $100 million offers, and this was just a drawing. It's not an actual equation like this, but we can certainly try and feed this into ChatGPT like this to see if it can take it, understand it, and work with it. And from what I've seen so far, it does this rather well. So now let's finish up this first prompt and give the AI its first goal. And this is our first prompt. So as you can see, what I refer to as constants in this prompt here, they're not really accurate. They're not really constants since they hold two states. We first told the AI that name is the name of the business. Then we later said that name is contrata. So working with AI like this is way less structured than coding and more human language based. So now let's run our prompt. And now we have the AI telling us that as a business owner in the startup world, his primary primary goal is to establish a strong brand presence in the market and stand out from the competition. Now it's telling us its pain points, and this is all really good information in general, and this is already valuable information. And it's definitely something you can already charge money for as your AI-based consulting gift. But now let's continue with our second prompt. So now we're gonna ask the AI to pretend to be Alex Hormozi so it can come up with irresistible offers for our target market. This way we're gonna make use of the AI's ability to emulate a persona while also utilizing ChatGPT's knowledge of Alex Hormozi's book $100 million offers. So we're gonna tell the AI to now pretend to be Alex Hormozi, the author of the book $100 million offers. How to make offers so good people feel stupid saying no. And we're gonna write it out like this because it doesn't know which part of Alex Hormozi we want to emulate, and we want to emulate the knowledge in this book and not, for example, in any of his other books. And if we now run this prompt, we're gonna get some neat offer packages, and everything is working as expected. We've got 3 offers and 5 delivery vehicles in return with virtually no effort on our part. And to be fair, this is just surprisingly great information in general. So we have 4 prompts in total, but by defining the so-called constants in the first prompt, you ever only need to edit the first prompt, which means that if you perhaps now do decide to set up that consulting grift we've been talking about, you can then, for example, create an automation around this and start getting consistently good information with virtually 0 effort on your part. Now, I know this is a silly example, but if you let your imagination run wild, you can definitely think of some ways to build your own useful prompt frameworks to automate at least some parts of your own writing and thinking-based tasks. For example, I could, if I wanted to, turn this into a fully automated business by taking my HormoziBot website, and instead of having made these prompts public, I could just return you the answers from the GPT-4 model as outputs and start charging money for them. Although I don't think it's a good business idea, otherwise I would have maybe done it already. But I hope you get my point. Now, there's no real benefit for us to write out the prompts 3 and 4 together, as that's just more of the same. But if you want to give this prompt framework a try, I've left the link in the description. Also, feel free to pick this apart and jumble it up any way you want to, or use it as a starting point for your own prompt frameworks. But in conclusion, working with AI like ChatGPT is much more similar to interacting with humans than coding, and it requires a certain level of adaptability and intuition that you can only develop the more you use it. Prompt collections are a great idea, but only if they're your own prompts. Buying them online is just a waste of money. So just like how you adapt your behavior and communication style when talking to different people, you must learn to communicate effectively with AI to get your desired results. There is no one-size-fits-all approach to prompting AI, but understanding the tasks you can assign, like creating tables and writing summaries, the weaknesses of the AI model, like that this one's really bad with maths, and incorporating some of the tips and tricks, such as defining reusable constants, can all greatly improve your outcomes. The key to successful AI prompting is to be adaptable and learn from trial and error. So as you become more familiar with the AI model that you're working with and its capabilities, you'll be better equipped to craft prompts that produce the results that you desire. And if you like this video, please click the subscribe button. Until next time, keep experimenting and happy prompting.